Gaethje eye-poked Poirier 3 times. Now he's saying he will come back and fight Gaethje. I know he was selling his chile in Walmart and it wasn't doing well. And then he started selling his chile on OnlyFans supposedly. And now he needs to come back. The best thing about fouling is that it works. Famous words from disgraced referee Jason Herzog. And I'm going to get into the situation with Dustin Gaethje in a moment because I know everybody's talking papas right now, and I'm going to have to break it down for you, but I need to lay a foundation first so you can see what's actually going on right here. So Jason Herzog, he said those famous words. The best thing about fouling is that it works. He said that to Tomas Aspinall backstage in the green room before Tomas came out and got poked out of commission by Ciryl Gane. It was almost as if it was prophetic. It was almost as if Herzog has some money on it. And I don't want to jump to conclusions because Herzog has historically been my favorite UFC referee. But especially the way the dude let the fight end looked super suspicious, super fishy. That dude looked more fishy than Red Lobster at the end of that fight. And I think he got the flack that was more than deserved because of the aftermath. And what he should have done was his job. He should have done what he gets paid to do. You have to make it definitive. You're going to make somebody mad. You're either going to have to call it against Aspinall and say that I kind of think he's faking it. I think he milked it. I think he's a quitter. Or you got to call it against Gane and say that fool's a cheater. And he's historically a cheater. This is in line with his brand. But he didn't do that. And what we witnessed was the highest level of victim shaming. He made Tomas Aspinall look like a punk, or at least he led people to realize that Tomas Aspinall was a punk, however you want to look at it. But Jason Herzog dropping the ball, Jason Herzog not doing his job, that doesn't mean, just so you know, it doesn't mean that Tomas Aspinall is not a quitter. Jason Herzog not doing his job and making Tomas Aspinall look bad, that doesn't take away from Tomas Aspinall's legacy of being the first ever undisputed heavyweight champion via unanimous text message from Dana White. Jason Herzog not doing his job doesn't take away from the reputation of everybody loving and adoring Tomas Aspinall because of misplaced emotion, because of how much they hated John Jones. It's neither here either. One thing has nothing to do with the other. But what's very important is two things backstage. Again, reiterating, Jason Herzog said the best thing about fouling is that it works. It's like that one book that I read a long time ago called Shakespeare, where it was talking about something called dramatic irony. It's like he was setting that fool up. I feel like I'm watching a movie right here. And then again at the end, when Herzog had the opportunity to do something about it, to be the man, to make a decision, he said, chale. And then after that, at the press conference, you got the big cheese, Dana White. And I wrote this one down too, so I wouldn't forget. They asked Dana White, what could we do about this? How could we keep the fighters safe? How could we keep events from being ruined like this? Dana says, who gives a bad word? What are you going to do? Oh. You know, that's probably the worst answer you could have gave, Dana. I mean, I would have gladly taken one of your classic, huh? What do you say? Okay. The echo's horrible. What? Hey? Hello? Oh, he's over there. What? Who gives a bad word? What are you going to do? So you got a couple different levels covered here. You got referee, you got the big cheese, and then you got a fighter. Then you got Derek Lewis saying, I cheat on purpose. This ain't something that he whispered to someone in the locker room. This ain't something that he sent to somebody on WhatsApp thinking that it was never going to see the light of day. He says on press week, on the microphone, he says, I cheat all the time. I throw groin shots. I do eye pokes. It buys me some time. I know the referees ain't going to do nothing. They're lenient. They're going to give me a bunch. They give me the benefit of the doubt. He's a good guy. He probably didn't do it on purpose because he knows that's against the rules. Why would a fighter come in here and do anything against the rules? Yeah, give him a chance. That's what he says. I know that's what they do. So I'm going to milk the system. Derek Lewis specifically trains groin strikes and eye pokes at his fight camp. And he brags about it. So you got referee, you got fighter, you got the big cheese. Everybody saying fouls? That's okay. So these fighters that we're watching, that we get mad about, hey, my guy got eye poked. Hey, your guy got eye poked by my guy. It's all cool. We got you back. You got us last time. They are being brought up in this environment, in this atmosphere where we're playing street ball. There's no fouls here. There's no crying in baseball. What are you talking about? We're gladiators, fool. We're savages. You're going to be crying about an eye poke? Look at Poatan, that reputation was like, go, I don't feel nothing, go. You can't be crying about stuff after he does something like that. I'm talking about Anthony Smith when he's getting his dome crushed and this is the dude with the teeth, his teeth falling out. He's handing them to the referee. He's like, let's go, run it back, run it back, run it back. You can't be tapping out in situations like this. This is the tone that is established where you're going to look like a punk. You're going to look like a narc. If you start trying, he fouled me, referee. Play the tape, rewind it, he fouled me. That's the environment that has been created. That's what they operate in right now. Everybody. And we have to be honest about it. When I call the fights, I'm either rooting for somebody most of the time because they're one of my favorite fighters, or I've at least made a prediction, and maybe I don't particularly like the fighter, but I've made a prediction, and I want to be accurate. And we're all guilty of this. When our guy loses, if he got a groin strike, if he got an eye poke, whatever, hey, we don't stop talking about that's the only reason he lost, blah, 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 blah. But when our guy wins, if he did something a little bit dirty, well, the other guy, should have been tougher, or, everybody does it. We all find ways to excuse it based on who we're rooting for. We're biased. And it's crazy that we don't realize it. Everybody that I'm seeing, that at least within my circle, everybody that I'm seeing mention it are people that were rooting for Paddy Pimblett. And look, maybe some of you guys will have some integrity and you'll be objective and you'll give the correct answer in a situation like this. So like Max Holloway, he beat Dustin Gaethje and he gave him a couple pretty solid eye pokes. The same people that are bringing up that Gaethje poked Pimblett's eyes, are you upset about Max Holloway? Was that victory invalid? Or do you like Holloway a little bit more and you think he deserved it and he's likable and charismatic and this and that and he's all blessed and whatnot? He has this whole thing. He's a very likable individual. Do you feel the same way about that? Should they run that one back? Should they not count that? Should they take that off the Wikipedia? How do you feel about that one? What about when Dustin Gaethje fought Michael Chandler? I believe it was round 2, the very end of round 2. Michael Chandler poked Gaethje in the eye pretty bad. And then Gaethje kind of turned to the ref and he's like, hey, and it was like clear as day. Anybody in the nosebleeds could have seen what was going on. Hey, something's going on. Stop. Pause. We need to address something. Chandler came and clocked him in the... He came and hit a wide open Gaethje like if it was a power slap moment. Gaethje wasn't even... You know how like that's when you get knocked out when you don't see it coming and it torques your head like that? It made Chandler look bad. Gaethje was like completely... He was telling the ref like, hey, Gaethje was way over here. And then he pretty much like trotted up to him and boom, he loaded it up from like across the cage, socked him in the face, and Gaethje didn't even flinch. That was hilarious. I couldn't believe he took a shot like that he didn't even see coming. And they kept going. Gaethje beat him. So sometimes you get fouled pretty bad. You get fouled and then you get socked in the face when you ain't even looking with a bad sucker punch. And you still win. But then he got poked in the eyes twice by Holloway. He lost. Are we still going to be talking about that one? So before you start to get annoyed here and think I'm riding a little bit too hard for Gaethje, let me remind you, especially if you're new here, I've never really been a Gaethje fan. I don't think I've ever rooted for him in a fight, to be very honest with you. And if I'm incorrect and you remember, correct me if I'm wrong. It's not a big deal. I don't think I've ever rooted for him. And I don't absolutely hate the guy. I've just never had a lot of confidence in his rock'em sock'em style. I've just always felt that his style is too basic, lazy maybe. And I know this might be a weird way to put it, but maybe even disrespectful to his fans because it's so caution to the wind. It's so careless and reckless. It's like, bro, you got people rooting for you. There's some people who bet on you. There's some people who come out to see you. They travel. Cover your face, bro. Get your head out of the way. You don't always have to take some to give some. It's worked for you a lot of the time, but I mean, it cost you one of your fake titles. You could have had 2 fake titles. You could have had an interim title and a BMF title, but now you only got 1 fake title. I guess technically you've had the 1 fake title twice, but you could have had those and another fake title. Now, let me vindicate you a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be objective. Here's some dirty stuff that Gaethje has done. I was going back and watching all their fights. As you know, I've mentioned it before, and I was taking notes, and I'm pretty sure I got all of them because I was trying to be thorough. In his past fights, Gaethje has eyepoked Luis Firmino, Michael Johnson, Tony Ferguson, Rafael Fiziev, and Justin Poirier. And in the Poirier fight, Gaethje eyepoked Poirier 3 times in that first fight. 3 times. And maybe, I don't know if there's some kind of rivalry or what, because they always seemed cordial enough. I thought they were cool. But now Poirier is saying that he would come out of retirement after they did that whole big old last hurrah for him, that whole send-off, and we're all over dramatic with it. Now he's saying he will come back and fight Gaethje. I don't know if things aren't going well. I don't know if he's got a big old debt on them new teeth. I know he was selling his chile in Walmart and it wasn't doing well. And then he started selling his chile on OnlyFans supposedly. And now he needs to come back. And maybe it's because maybe he thinks he could beat him. Maybe he doesn't want to go out on a loss. I don't know. But 3 eye pokes against Poirier. And then he had against Luis Firmino, he spit out his mouthpiece 4 times. So he's clearly a dude, like, that Derek Lewis type of trajectory where it's like, this dude might just be willing to do whatever it takes. But again, this is the environment that has been fostered by the UFC. I don't know if this will mean that much to you as well, but I thought it was interesting. I actually went back and I watched the whole event all over again because I was like, you know what? Just out of curiosity, I'm going to watch every fight again and see if anybody else did anything like groin shots or eye pokes. Because I want to just see if this is just something that happens. So I think we could all admit, if we sat down and went across a bunch of fight nights, a bunch of numbered events, and just took notes, we're going to find an insane amount of eye pokes and groin shots. But I thought, I'm just going to do this one event. Because if I could even find any in just this one event alone, on the very card that we're talking about this thing with us and Gaethje, that's going to tell us something. So let me read the notes that I wrote down for you right here. The fight against Allen and Silva, in the first round at 1:37, the ref felt like he saw some kind of eye poke. And he called it out. He's like, hey, watch it. They didn't stop it. They didn't make it all dramatic. But the ref felt like he saw something. In the fight against Lewis and Costa in the second round, 2 minutes and 23 seconds, Costa called for something. He thought that he got fouled. And the ref just says, I didn't see it. O'Malley and Song, I know this one's a little bit different, but it's just another example of the lack of sportsmanship. I don't know if anyone else caught this. This was dirty and disappointing. At the very beginning of the fight with O'Malley and Song, when they were touching gloves, I don't even think they touched. Because at first, I thought, did they touch it immediately the split second? Song kicked him. He threw a leg kick. But I don't even think he touched his glove. It's hard to tell from the angle, but it looks like he faked like he was going to glove touch. And then he kicked him in the leg. And that was dirty. So it's just an example of the type of environment that they're fighting in. Gaethje and Poilievre in round 1 at 14 seconds. Poilievre was kicked in the groin. They had to stop it. Perez and Johnson, I don't know why I didn't put one round at 3 minutes, 27 seconds. Johnson grabbed onto the cage with both of his hands to lift himself up, avoiding the TKO. He was in big trouble. He's going to get TKO'd. He straight up grabbed the cage with both hands, lifted himself up, levitated out of there, ran across the cage. Ref didn't say anything. And then here's the fight with Gaethje and Pimblett. And again, the ones I just mentioned right now, I know they're not the most dramatic things ever. We're talking about cage grabs. We're talking about bad sportsmanship with the kick up front. We're talking about things that the ref didn't even call, that the ref tried to call and the fighter was like, it's all good. I'm just saying, these aren't clean cut, no types of gray area fights. It's like we can't have a fight without something out of bounds, without something outside the lines, because that's just the nature of the fight business. So if we're specifically talking about the Gaethje and Pimblett fight, first round, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Pimblett is trying to stabilize himself while Gaethje's fighting for position on the ground, and Pimblett got his toesies in the cage. And he's just trying to make sure he stays put because Gaethje's trying to torque him around. And Pimblett is cheating with his toesies through the cage, trying not to get himself into a worse position. The first round, 3 minutes and 12 seconds, it looks like, I can't confirm it, but it looks like Pimblett might have his fingers in Gaethje's glove. First round, 1 minute 50 seconds, Pimblett grabbed the cage because he was trying to avoid a takedown. That could have been huge. That could have meant different types of control time. That could have meant some more ground and pound. I doubt Gaethje would have submitted him, but it's still something you're not supposed to do. Round 1, 1 minute and 6 seconds, Gaethje eye-poked him. He did it. First round, 47 seconds left. Gaethje eye-poked him. Again, this time they didn't call it. And they even replayed it. And in my opinion, if I remember correctly, I think this poke was worse than the one they called. But they didn't call it. So again, this isn't me defending Gaethje. This is me saying this is what the organization is like. Anybody could see on that replay what happened. And they're like, let's just move on. That's the environment that they're fighting in. Third round at 58 seconds, Pimblett did a flying knee to the groin of Gaethje. That was crazy. It wasn't like kind of off angle or obscure or anything. He straight up did a flying knee right into the groin. Fourth round with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left, Gaethje kneed Pimblett to the groin. They didn't call that one. They didn't stop the action on that one. They stopped it when Pimblett hit Gaethje. They didn't stop it when Gaethje hit Pimblett. And I remember in the moment, it goes by so fast, and Rogan was like, it was on the bout line and whatever. When I watched it back, it looked like it was a groin shot. It looked like it was definitely enough to have been stopped for the 5 minutes or whatever, not the whole fight. But it definitely looked like it made contact on the cut. And then on the fifth round with 7 seconds left, Gaethje got kicked in the groin, like with the straight up, like with the foot. Gaethje got kicked in the groin from Pimblett. And I don't know if it was just so fast and the refs like, the fight's already going to be over. Who cares? They didn't stop it. They didn't say nothing. They didn't even acknowledge it. Got kicked in the groin. So I'm not coming to Gaethje's defense. That's not what this video is about. I did make a prediction video saying that he would win. And then he won. And then it felt good. And I was right. And I wanted to talk about it. Now everyone's going saying it doesn't count because he cheated. So I just want to put forth an objective perspective of it. That, yes, Gaethje clearly did illegal things. But so did Pimblett. It just looks more dramatic because Pimblett lost. And then a point that I think is very important that someone else I saw mentioned as well. When you saw the way that the fight was going, when you saw the things that Gaethje was landing on Pimblett, when you could see the defense of Pimblett or the lack thereof, when you could see Pimblett's chin out there, like if it was a little magnet for Gaethje's fist, and you could see the half-hearted takedown attempts. When you see the whole thing, it's clear to come to the conclusion that it was going to go one way irregardless. And it wasn't only that fight. There were other fights in the card where people were doing illegal things. And I'm trying to stress, because I feel like I say one thing and then it might sound like I'm backtracking. I also need to stress that Gaethje has done illegal things in the past as well. I'm not trying to say he did illegal things in this fight, but Pimblett canceled them out because he did illegal things too, so they're all even. No, Gaethje's done a bunch of eye pokes against other fighters, and he's spitting out his mouthpiece. He just keeps spitting out during the fight like he's a baseball player. So, I mean, he's got some stuff that you could definitely point the finger at for sure. Here's what we just have to understand as consumers. It's going to keep happening. And sometimes the dude that you want to win is going to win when he did something illegal. And you're going to have to find creative ways to defend it and excuse it. And sometimes the dude that you didn't want to win is going to win. And then that's going to be your turn to complain about it. But ultimately, Dana White doesn't care. And I'm going to be honest with you. I wish they would go all out, full blown, and just make them legal. I wish that groin strikes and eye pokes were completely legal. And I always hear, well, how are you going to let them die? How are they going to have a career like this? They ain't football players. They ain't tennis players and basketball players. They're fighters. Is it a fight or not? Because if it's not, we should stop calling them fights. We got to come up with a new word. Because when you fight somebody, you kick them in the groin. You elbow them in the teeth. You poke their eye out. You tug on their ear. You do small joint manipulation. You break their fingers. I think fighting is fighting. And I keep going back to that, like I said earlier. Get rid of the weight classes. Get rid of the water breaks, the motivational speeches in the corner. Get rid of the referees. And let's kick each other in the groin and poke each other in the eyes. But if they ain't going to allow that, then we just got to stop complaining about it.